So, hey guys, recently I asked you guys what you guys think about the current format. And for the most part, you guys seem to almost just the majority of you guys, I suppose, like two-thirds of you guys believe that the format itself is not that healthy or good or whatever, right? So, I mean, I'm kind of like in the middle ground myself, like here in the maybe so category. Some of you think the format is like good or healthy, so about 13%. So if you still look at this from a different perspective, 23% of people here are thinking like, eh, pretty iffy, and then 63% are just like, no, it's not healthy, and it's not a good format. So yeah, that's just what you guys think, right? So we'll just go over this a little bit. So the current format, Snake Eyes heavy. I super 100% agree with this, but I do not think that Snake Eyes is necessarily like unbeatable, nor is it necessarily like the best deck per se. Oh, some of the things like Snake Eyes has going for it is that it is like super consistent, right? So if we just look at this, we'll just throw this in as well. And then let's go grab the Abil Star. And then we have three of these, three of these, three of these. And as you can see, these are all starters. So these three are starters. So that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 starters. Except then we have a bonfire. And now how many starters do we have now? 9, yeah, 18 or so. 18 or so one card starters. Well, the saving grace is that, well, they're like weaknesses you can deal with, so it's just changing your non-engine around a little bit, you know. Maybe throw in a few copies of Thrust to steal Appaloosa, throw in a couple of copies of Evenly to just nuke the rest of the board and get rid of a lot of follow-up. Pretty chill. And then also, there's some just hand traps that will work better than others situationally. So that sure is a vibe, you know? Sure is a mood. But here are the things about Snake Eye that are kind of just annoying. So the general hand trap resistance of this deck is kind of annoying. So because we have like a bajillion like one card stars, we don't even have to consider Hita in the extra deck because Hita bring back Ash Blossom honestly isn't even that good, like straight up. But like sucks on later turns around like turn 2, 3, where that happens. But anyways, if we just look at a typical like hand, well not typical, but if we were, for example, to look at this and look at how hand trap resistant this is what the deck has going for it. So we can, let's say, normal summon Snake Eye Ash here, and then if this gets ashed, okay, we just activate original Sinful Spoils Snake Eyes. And we can actually just send Snake Eye Ash, no problem. Grabbing, like, I guess, probably Snake Eye Oak here to summon back Snake Eye Ash, I believe, is the play. From this point, if you don't have like that much. And then here you can just summon Flamberge and just completely skip Poplar. And I think that gets you mostly where you want to go, but I think you're lacking one card for this, right? Yeah, so that doesn't fully get you where you need to be. Okay. But if we have Bonfire instead, then if we Bonfire for Poplar and then we activate the effect to special summon Poplar, then we can add Original Sin, you would need another interaction or like another hand trap to deal with Bonfire after you like negated Ash, for example. Speaking of negating Ash though, if we were to Imperm Ash, this is different from like Pearly, where Imperm was a lot more effective against Pearly. So if we were to Imperm the Black Cat, that does a lot more for us because you don't want to resummon the Black Cat and you don't have a Monster Reborn effect, and that is pretty key here because you can actually Oak summon back Ash. So that is problematic because we Poplar and then Poplar grabs Original Sin, right? We can use that to summon Snake Eye Oak by tributing away the Ash, and then we can make Linkuriboh as well. So the play here, I believe, is to actually, if you have like Original Sin and one more body on the field, right? You're probably supposed to link off if you're wanting to play around like everything but Nibiru, which this deck can somewhat play through. Um, if we link this off with Linkuriboh, then we send Linkuriboh specifically with Original Sin. That will get Snake Eye Ash off the field and also get Linkuriboh into the graveyard, which will be important for later. So you imperm, let's say Snake Eye Ash, and this is what your opponent does, right? So then we can actually go ahead and summon Oak. So at this point, do you see the problem? So the problem right now is, if you have a second imperm or even an effect veiler, it is no longer activatable. If you chain it to Oak, like after Oak gets summoned, because you obviously can't imperm original Sinful Spoils, right? If you were to wait till this point to imperm, then what will happen is Linkuriboh will tribute the Oak to summon itself, so it's no longer on the field, and then Ash will still get summoned. And then after this point, we can tribute Ash, and then tribute Linkuriboh, right? So that'll work right there. But we also have like Poplar still, and that's annoying, right? So essentially what we're getting at here is Linkuriboh. You gotta remember Linkuriboh. Linkuriboh can dodge Imperm Veiler, so targeted effects, targeted negation, it can be dodged by Linkuriboh, so that's pretty annoying. And also resummoning Ash. So if you don't have like the second Imperm, of course, at this point, if Ash gets resummoned on field, you can activate the effect to summon essentially a Flambridge here. So we should still have a Poplar somewhere, and we could just summon Flambridge now, I guess. And then once Flambridge gets on the field and there's another monster to link off Flambridge with, that is essentially always going to be combo. So super hand trap resistant, essentially, for like various reasons. And notably, because of Linkuriboh, right? There is no good, like super good point to Imperm Ash, if we're just considering one Imperm, right? If you wanted to hold your Imperm for like a Snake Eye Oak, well, Linkuriboh is probably in the graveyard, so when exactly can you Imperm? Like probably just Imperm Oak, because or not Oak, Imperm Ash, because hopefully your opponent just doesn't have the right extender to extend from here. But if they do, like, it's kind of just miserable, right? And of course, like, if we do look at imperming on the Ash, like, where we were looking at earlier, our opponent still has that Poplar, so they can just make Promethean Princess, and then just summon back, like, Snake Eye Oak. And then Snake Eye Oak can send Poplar, and then special summoning Flambridge. Just for example, right? So continuation everywhere, right? And you can obviously make IP first. So yeah, bit miserable in that regard. And also because of how efficient this is, right? Just watch me slap in the non-engine, because this is all just engine, right? Well, there are a few more engine cards, but look, this is like not just engine though, right? These aren't just one card starters, they're also like extenders, right? So that is where the consistency of this goes, right? So those are the strengths of the deck, but I guess the deck truly is not like unbeatable, right? But I mean, it is being played a lot, and like aside from focusing on what Snake Eyes does here, let's change course a little bit. So Snake Eye kind of is just boring to play against because it's just the same deck over and over again. It's like kind of the same as the tier element stuff. Like, cool. It's Snake Eye again. Oh, normal summon, Snake Eye Ash, blah blah blah. 10 steps later. Okay, now we're looking at IP, Link Rebo in the graveyard, and probably drew some like hand traps because, yeah, why not? So Flamberge IP essentially, and Ambler Whale. Huzzah! Fun, one card combo. And yeah, that's Snake Eye for you. So this is just what it is like right now. Could be worse, but the deck isn't like so insanely good that you're going to lose, regardless of it if it goes like first or second, just because the deck is kind of dumb. Like Tearlament. Tearlament was actually much worse because their engine let them play on your turn. But I guess Subversion is kind of an annoying card, but yeah. Right now, I guess people just don't like the lack of deck diversity. So, just for example though, if we actually back out of here, as you guys can see, like, I am currently Master 1, so as you can tell, I played a lot of ranked, and this is pretty early in the season, so not much to do here, but yeah. Because I can tell you exactly how many Snake Eye players I encountered during my climb. Wasn't that long of a climb, but boy, were there a lot of Snake Eyes players. So we have Unchained, Stun, Cash, and that's primarily what I encountered, and like maybe a few lab players. So less lab now than before, but Snake Eye. Boy, were there a lot of Snake Eye. Literally like 90 or 80% of my duels were against Snake Eye. So that they were pretty free wins, considering I'm Master 1, right? But yeah, a lot of Snake Eye. This is just like more so the game state and not so like the deck, in my opinion, where there's just a lot of people playing Snake Eye, and yeah, that's a bit not fun. Snake Eyes itself is not like that unfair. It's like a little bit strong. Like what they do is not like unfair, I'd say, right? Not like that unfair. The only somewhat unfair thing we're looking at here is going to mostly be the draws they do and Promethean Princess's graveyard effect being somewhat hard to deal with for like certain decks, right? This can be pretty rough. And if you didn't know, Emblem Whale actually has another effect where it has a non-targeting destruction. So, if you were to destroy Promethean Princess, you have to deal with Emblem Whale afterwards. So that also triggers in the graveyard. So, like, assuming you do a Dark Ruler no more, and your opponent like summoned IP in standby or something, yeah, you still have to deal with Ambler Whale and Promethean Princess still, technically. Epic. Fun. Anyway, so focusing back up, this is pretty annoying. And actually, now that I think about it, oh, I just didn't even think about this, but if we did this line, if we made Promethean Princess, and then we make Verte with Ambler Whale, we can then summon DB, and then when we pop the Verte on the next turn, that will actually trigger Ambler Whale. Well, that is a brain melting sequence, isn't it? And also, I mean, Promethean Princess is a card that exists in your graveyard for the link line of this like dumb line, but not sure what else you would do with it. But yeah, that's the thing, I guess. I guess the best thing that could happen in this case is if you were to just open Fusion Destiny and just do that like before you end your turn, and then pass with Ambler Whale. So then Promethean Princess, you can pop Promethean Princess instead, and that'll trigger Ambler Whale. So that's like maybe a little bit more ideal, but yeah, if you kept the Ambler Whale on the field anyways. So yeah, just a whole lot of Snake Eye representation. So I don't know. Can't really stop people from playing like something. So like if the whole like every single rank player you ever encountered just decide, hey, we're all going to be playing Blue Eyes, is that a healthy format? I mean, I guess not in the sense that like the deck diversity is pretty bad. But I mean, it's not like awful. Like you know, Runic Stun. Yo, anyone else remember normal inspector border pass, and then protecting that border so you can't Raigeki it because summon Hyugen, and Hyugen's not activated effect, so that can protect. Yeah, that's not fun. So that's just thing, right? And also a Mono Awato. And also Carta Demise to draw into more floodgates, and also your lightning storms are worthless. Fun. And also Solemn Judgment if in case you open like unevenly. So keeping in mind your opponent did draw 3 off like Carta Demise, and also resolving all of these like runic cards to just draw more. Good luck with dealing with this, I guess, right? So yeah, that's pretty miserable. But I mean, I just find it kind of like interesting, like how you guys feel about this. So yeah, I mean, in terms of like being able to play the decks you want to play, at least, uh, in that sense, like you can play whatever you want right now, and it's not like super problematic. That part of the format I think is pretty good, but the amount of like people just playing Snake Eyes is kind of like annoying. Hopefully, it just falls off sooner or later. But we still got like quite a good amount of time before like new cards drop. So as of recording this video, I think it's like in maybe 2 weeks, a new selection might drop. So like, I mean, until then, maybe we'll be seeing a little bit more drop off because I've honestly, unironically, only gone against like 3 Unchained players total. Was hoping to see a bit more Unchained representation, but yeah. That's all I got for you guys today, and hopefully there's going to be a format sooner rather than later that every one of you guys enjoys. So yeah, I'm hoping for that. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.